Hello everybody, I am Derek1000 here, welcome back to my YouTube channel. After my first rant video on my channel, which was about YouTube, it's now time for my second rant video here. And today I had three special guests that were a special guest on my first podcast episode. I'm here with Luke Jeffers.
Hello guys, as I just woke up with this huge nap.
Yep, and we also have Dante Pinton.
Hello everybody.
And we also have Andrew Hawking.
Hello everyone on YouTube.
And today, or tonight, we are going to be talking about this person who was being rude in my podcast that I filmed this past summer. And I wasn't really worried about I didn't really want to do this rant video because, just for being rude in my podcast, but he did something worse also on his channel that Jordan discovered. And this person I am talking about is Ken Jones. Now, if you don't know who he is a YouTuber, and he also was a guest on my first episode of my Derek1000's podcast. Now, what happened was, I'll give you some footage of that during this video. But what happened was, Ken Jones was being rude in my podcast. He kept talking over people, and he keep saying, guys, and, that's kind of rude to talk over people, right? Right, everyone? But, anyway, let me show you, some footage of him, being kind of rude. Here you go.
Okay, but for those who let me say something. Those who haven't heard of it, that are watching or listening,
one sec, please.
Explain. Friend or Foe is basically a quiz game.
So there. So unfortunately, he was kind of being rude in my podcast, and also, I might show you footage of this, but he was also, switching topics. Like, he was staying on one topic, and then he moved on to the next topic. And if you're on a podcast, you are not supposed to, switch topics when you're in the middle of talking about a certain topic. And also, we're supposed to take turns, right? You're supposed to take turns of talking. Like, when you have your stage, you take over. You can't take over other people's stages when they're supposed to be talking. When the boss of the show tells you to, and you don't say guys like talking over them. Like, that's kind of not being nice. And I was trying to be nice to that person, which I did not know. Okay, here's how I discovered him. I was on Thumbman256 server. I was going through all different servers I was a part of. And I was asking people if they wanted to participate in my podcast because, I was searching for people to participate. And I asked people at the Thumbman256 server, shout out to Thumbman256, Kenneth Jones said, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And when I heard this person, the voice channel at the YouTube Games and Entertainment server, I did not know he was young. I don't mind having kids on my channel, but still, And one person asked me, where did he get this person from? And I'm like, on another server, I was asking people, and now, being rude in my podcast is not the main reason of this video. And we have some footage from the Rant and Rant podcast with Brian and Jordan, and they talked about this as well. And I'll show you that in a little while after I explain this myself. So what happened was, Ken Jones did a Q&A live stream is someone in the live chat asked him this question. How, something like this. How come you hacked into my second, did you hack into my second live stream, something like that? And then Kenneth Jones said this. Yeah, I hacked to your second live stream. He admitted in his live stream that he hacked into another person's live stream. And you're not supposed to hack into someone's live stream because that's crime right there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you're not supposed to, I don't know how he hacked that person's account. I don't even know how to hack people's account. Even if I know how to, I wouldn't, because I'll get in deep trouble with consequences. And you are not supposed to hack into someone's live stream. And I wish I had footage of this, but guess what? A few weeks later, after he made that Q&A live stream with Google Plus, which, it wasn't really necessary to do a Google Hangout live stream at that time because it was closing down. Some reason my OBS, my Discord that got shut down. But anyway, you're not supposed to hack into someone's live stream. And also, what I was saying earlier about the Google Hangout live stream, it wasn't really necessary to do your first live stream Google Hangout because it was closing down next month. But still, he could do what he wants. It's his channel. But for you to admit that you hacked into that someone's live stream, people are gonna go crazy about you hacking to someone's live stream. How come he did not delete that video if he admitted that he hacked into someone's live stream? So, what are your thoughts about this? Any of you have comments about this? Thoughts?
I have no freaking idea. I haven't met this person because it's stupid to meet this guy. Well, I never heard about him before. It's just stupid to see him go, but he interrupts some strange reason to the other people and the topics. What's going on here? It just made no sense to me.
What about you?
Period.
What about you, Dante? You were in my podcast too.
What was my reaction of King Jones coming back to YouTube?
Yeah, and also hacking another person's live stream.
What the hell? He's back?
Probably a backup account or something.
It was just bad luck, to be honest. I never met the kid. At the same time,
Yeah. It's not big. It's not a huge deal, but for this situation, it's kind of crazy. What about you, Andrew? What are your thoughts about this?
I think Caden Jones should give up. I think he should give up because I think he should definitely give up everything. He thinks he's get away with it. Think again.
Yeah.
my sentiments is sad.
Well, the main thing on YouTube is never hack to someone's live stream, even especially admitting it live. When I don't know how many views it had on his old channel, but now he has a new YouTube channel, and I'm not gonna put a link in the description below for that because I have nothing to do. I don't want anything about this, but you should never do anything like this, be rude, disrespectful, and also one time he left mid-game of a game show that kept us waiting for a long time. And here is Jordan Little's and Brandon Martin's thoughts of Kenny Jones that they talked about on Rant and Ray podcast.
Now, I'm going to tell a lovely story. You're probably wondering about this individual. Why do I dislike this person so much? Well, it all started when I first met this individual, who will be known as Mr. Smith. And don't even try and guess his name. Let's just say, if you want to know who he is, contact me personally on Discord or something. But at the end of the day, his real name will not be mentioned. But I will say that this kid is a minor. Don't know how old, but let me tell you, not old enough to be mature enough to handle things on the internet. Now, Mr. Smith, I first met this kid when I was playing a game with another individual who I will not, bring up whose name in order to protect the innocent. But I will reveal that it was a pressure luck game. Okay. Now, basically, when I first met this kid, this is what happened. Now, apparently, when we were on this call for Discord to do this, he invited someone from the same server, and for some reason, which this person already told the host and the leader of that server that he declined to play Pressure Luck. However, Mr. Smith, he already invited this person even after he asked him, but still said no. And yet I thought, okay, this is random. So we go ahead and start the video. I told the host that you can play, in your own way. I mean, we need 3 people. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can host and play at the same time. Now, this is what happened. You ready for this? This is what happened. Somewhere around mid-game, while on the first round, guess what Mr. Smith does? He freaking leaves during mid-game and leaves us hanging with only just 2 players and only his turn being there only. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So, being the person that I am, I took Mr. Smith's turns. And then the person who ran the game had to make Mr. Smith's human player mode into a CPU. And when I was talking to one of my friends about this, guess what happened? Now, for all intents and purposes, this is what happened. Now, when I looked at a podcast, which is derived in 5 parts, and I bet you probably know who I'm talking about. It had a few others. Let me see here. It had hold on. Yeah, not just counting the host. I mean, counting the host as well. It was 6 people on the call. It was a podcast, and it was derived in 5 parts because it was said that you couldn't do a video longer than 15 minutes, which I think is full of crap. But because, I mean, you could still go longer than that, because basically what I did with my videos, remember Russell Converse Mania, I could go up, and I could go up to an hour, but I can't go over 2 hours, which is kind of stupid. However, this freaking kid, basically in the podcast, he introduces himself, and he sounds, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like a very premature kid. I'm not kidding you. He sounds like one of those kids who really does not know the meaning behind common decency or minding your manners properly. You get what I'm saying here, Brandon? I think you know where I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to this podcast, and this hot dang kid, he kept interrupting one of the people on the call of one of their topics, saying, hey guys, hello, I got something to say, hello, over here. I'm like, kid, shut the F up. I mean, Brandon, you could agree with me. You heard this and saw this yourself, and yes, we're in the 1 hour mark, but still, at the end of the day, continuing on back to Mr. Smith. I was thinking, this freaking kid, he basically ruined this guy's podcast. And even a certain someone who's been waiting for me to rant about this kid for quite some time. But I needed more material. I needed more proof of this little kid being somewhat of a bane. So guess what I did? I found his YouTube account. Now, Brandon, you were right here, right in front of me, while on a Discord call, and you know what? You don't have nothing to hide. I mean, you were with me. You can witness to this.
Yep.
Now, basically, what I did was I was on my phone. I played a video regarding, Mr. Smith and his quote unquote Q&A. Okay, and this is what happened. This video was so long; it was like 32 minutes and 31 seconds. I remember, and this live stream he did, it was so terrible. It was so horrendous. It's like as if this kid is so freaking stupid. Do you not know how to perform a Q&A right? And get this, Brandon. He was also using this on Google Plus, I believe, Google Play, and this was like, it was like the same month when he was on that podcast that was derived in 5 parts. Okay. And not only did he kept repeating himself, like, we have a question. I'm like, where is it coming from? And then there's more to it. He also kept saying, I'm going to add him as a moderator. And guess what, Brand? How many times did he say that again?
Oh, gosh. Well, like probably, I would say, to be honest, at least 6 times, to be honest.
No. Well, I wish that was the case. It was 4 times.
Okay, well, I was off.
We kept count of that, if I recall. And let me tell you something. If you're going to make a certain person a moderator, then go ahead and make him a moderator.
Plain and simple. What the crap?
Quit repeating yourself.
Same thing. We got a question. Oh, man, that absolutely pisses me off right there.
It's like a broken record, only it's not funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was a certain question he answered from another specific individual who I will not name, but I will say this. I will go ahead and go with question number 2, and then I'll use question number 1. You ready for this, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, this is where I caught this kid's hand in a cookie jar. The second question was like, are you mad from the person he was answering a question to? Oh, by the way, did you know he skipped a question or 2 during this video?
Yeah.
Kind of rude much.
Yes.
But anyway, now that I can get back on topic with this, of what the second question was. This person asked, are you mad because I called you an annoying brat? And he goes, yeah, why did you call me annoying brat? Why did you call me that? And I'm like, that was well deserved. Because for someone, I mean, it is annoying. Because I mean, to say that sounds a little bit too, down, but regardless, he's acting like a brat. He doesn't let anybody, he was talking over everybody in a podcast, and he was acting like a complete douchebag. And this kid's like maybe, 10, 11, 12? And I'm like, I'd put this kid over my knee, and I'd give him the belt. That's what I'd give him.
Yep.
I mean, he practically deserves it with his attitude. Oh, and but that's the end of the second question. And you want to know, I think, how it led to the first question of this question being asked of what happens next? Brandon, you were there. You heard this. And everything I say, you can back me up on this.
Yeah.
This person asked Mr. Smith, did you hack into my second stream? And what does Mr. Smith reply? He says, yeah, I did hack in your second stream. Wait,
Oh
what?
my gosh.
Let me repeat that. He said, yeah, I did hack into your second stream. He admitted that he hacked into another person's live stream. This kid. This kid is a freaking idiot. What? It's like as if he confessed to committing murder. I'm telling you, how stupid is this kid doing that?
Yeah.
For someone who wants to cover his own tracks, I'm telling you, that is like, by God, one of the worst confessions I have ever heard.
Oh my gosh.
And you were there, Brandon. You were there. You were right in front of me, and you heard this. Did he or did he not say that?
He actually did, yes.
I'm telling you, this is like, I'm like, kid, dude, you should have stopped right there. I mean, like, where are your parents? I mean, you better tell them, like, well, you know what? I effed up. I hacked another person's stream when I shouldn't have, and I need you to take away my internet privileges because I'm incapable of knowing how to handle things online. So probably give it to me till I'm 30. Sorry. And then but then again, that ain't going to happen because he's not open-minded or honest with his parents, I believe. And to be honest, no, I'm not blaming the parents for this. It's the person that you are that counts. Yes, it all depends on how you raise your children. But at the same time, the parents are not always to blame for this. Okay? Now, while I was on a call with somebody talking about this little monster. Yeah, I know, I did tell you, but I'm telling the people online that don't know. Now, I was on a call with somebody, and out of respect, I'm not going to mention any names, but what I will say, this is what I discovered. I went to Mr. Smith's account just to pay a lovely visit to him. A lovely visit. What did I see? It said on this person's link to this person's account, said this account has been terminated for violating Google's terms of service. What? This account has been terminated for violating Google's terms of service. I'm telling you, for Google, for being as slow-minded as it is, for on YouTube, are you serious? Now you figure out that this kid's a problem, and it's obvious somebody reported him. I'm like, and when I told, I don't mind if I say this. When I told Andrew this, he was shocked and he was laughing too. And I told you this, you were shocked and laughing too. I mean, you know what? Let me tell you something. This was all hilarious, mind you. Everyone that we know that personally didn't like this kid's attitude, I mean, like, seriously, bro, this was actually justifiable, in my view, for him to get, terminated like this. Because how can you trust someone who hacks into your stream? How? Anyway, this dog knocked off something. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, at the end of the day, this stupid remote. Back to what I'm trying to get at here. But then something else popped up. He freaking made a new YouTube account. And I'm not going to say what his old account name was or his new one's called now, but I will say, Mr. Smith, I don't know what to think of you, honestly. I cannot trust you, nor do I want to try and know why you're doing what you're doing, especially with the ridiculous, the nonsensical stuff you're doing. Because there's a few things you do not do, okay? I think Brandon, in a way, is it like against the law to hack into someone else's live stream and all that?
Yeah, it is against the law to do that.
See?
Yeah.
Kid, they could find you for this. And not only that, for you confessing to this, if you like pull this off in court, they would throw you in the hot dang slammer. They could take you to juvenile hall until you're 18. No internet service, no nothing. But at the end of the day, if this kid keeps making more trouble, I might have another rant on him. But at the end of the day, I'm like shocked to believe how someone could admit that they hacked into another person's live stream.
So there you go. I'm editing this, by the way. So anyway, so I recommend you guys to block and report this person for being rude to my podcast and also hacking to other person's live stream. And you should never do that on your YouTube career. I mean, that's just wrong. So, I mean, I'm not worried about this anymore. I'm not upset, and I'm just blown away of what he did, what Jordan told me. Uh, but anyway, that is going to end for the second rant video here on my YouTube channel. I want to thank Luke Shepard, Dante Pitton, and Andrew Hockey for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see you all in my next video coming very soon. Also, I already scheduled uploaded day 1 of the 25 Days of Christmas, and I'm about to schedule upload day 2 sometime later this week. I'm going to try to get 5 videos for the 25 Days of Christmas by Thanksgiving or by December at least. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all there. Good night, everybody.